Let me first congratulate every Ron Paul supporter, because you, Ron Paul supporters, have done something truly amazing. You have raised a staggering $6 million for your candidate Ron Paul in 24 hours. Wow. Congratulations. It further shows your investment and your pride and love for your candidate. Good job, my friends. Good job. Now for this video. And I will try my best to make it under 10 minutes, and as a result I might oversimplify a few issues. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment or ask me to make a follow-up response, because I hate making videos more than 10 minutes, because then I'm going to have to make another video and so forth, and you know. Okay, without wasting any more time, let's begin. You asked me, or you suggested that I somehow began sidestepping your questions and shifting topics because I was mentioning radical Islam, and you said I should have been talking more Ron Paul or whatever. My friend, the topic at hand in the previous video was why I disagreed with Ron Paul. And radical Islam, well, the only reason I mentioned radical Islam was because you came out in your previous video asking me why I supported a candidate who was using these outdated excuses. And I wanted to explain to you why I liked Rudy Giuliani. And you have to remember something. You have to understand something, my friend. Liking and supporting are two completely different things. I like Rudy because he identifies the source of the threat, which is Islamofascism, something Ron Paul is failing to accomplish. And you also have to understand what happens when a country and its politically correct mindset, and I'm not implying that Ron Paul in any way is politically correct, but what I am trying to imply is that if the term Islamofascism is neglected, then we here in America can experience a similar problem where we will have people screaming death to America here in America within a vast movement of individuals, as Western Europe is experiencing as I speak. As for Rudy Giuliani talking about our freedoms meaning so much to other nations, and how he uses Iran as this threat, well, frankly, I can care less of what Rudy thinks, because I can see for myself what is occurring in Europe, where these fanatics have all these freedoms and this government support, and yet they are calling for an Islamic nation under Sharia law, which only shows the mindset of these fanatics and gives you a clear example of what is to come if we take this threat lightly. If we reject this threat, and this is a threat, then we could potentially experience a similar threat within the United States. And then you said I was sidestepping your question, and Ron Paul knowing what is going on, and how Ron Paul knows what's best for America. Okay, when Ron Paul identifies radical Islam for what it is and assures the American people that if a direct threat is identified, and I'm not speaking of Iraq or Iran, I'm speaking of a 9/11 Osama threat. And when this threat is identified, this direct threat, that is, Ron Paul, without any hesitation, will do whatever necessary, whether it's an assassination or a semi-invasion, to neutralize this threat. Because even if we do transform our foreign policy to non-interventionism. And I agree with you. As I mentioned in my previous video, some do in fact hate us because of our interventionism, but others don't care. Every terrorist organization and terrorist cell have their own personal ambitions and justifications for attacking America. Now, as for my favorite statement, these people are just tired of being pushed around, their women being raped, their houses being blown up. They're just fighting back. What I call a rebel, what you call a radical, they call a rebel. My friend, women being raped. Have you yet researched what is occurring throughout the Middle East? Women are terrified to leave their house without a hijab on because of their fear of being raped by fellow Muslims or harassed, to be exact. Let me give you an example. Let me give you a certain example. Okay, there is this, in Saudi Arabia, there's this 19-year-old girl. She was walking with a fellow Muslim man who was not related to her. And then some guys or whatever raped her. They raped her. In a modern society, in a Western society or whatever, you would expect the man who raped the victim to be prosecuted and sent to jail. But no. Guess who gets prosecuted and gets punished? The rape victim. The girl that was raped was punished by the Saudi authorities because guess what? She was walking with a male a male Muslim man who is not a relative of hers, thus justifying the rape. She received a prison sentence and 200 lashes. If that's a rebellion, if that's a freaking rebellion, my friend, you're insane. With all due respect, that is not a rebellion. A rebellion does not call for fellow Muslims or whatever being raped by their own people. That's not a rebellion, my friend. You know what? Whatever. Let me move on, because let me just move on. Then you said Rudy talks about things small-minded people want to hear. And I will state what I said previously. I don't care what Rudy says. I don't agree with any candidate, and I see every candidate as a freaking moron who know nothing of their own beliefs, of their own personal beliefs. And to be fair, let me exclude Ron Paul from that list. He is the most consistent candidate running for president. But me personally, and even if I do agree with Ron Paul on many issues, I can never, ever support a candidate who fails to identify radical, not rebellion Islam, radical Islam for what it is, which is a threat to mankind. And not to mention a candidate who wants to overturn the 17th Amendment. And the 17th Amendment is the amendment that gives the people the direct election of their senators, elections of their senators. Because overturning the 17th Amendment will only create more state bureaucracy, and I want to elect my own freaking representatives and not have the governor's best friend do it for me, or the governor's best friend representing me in the Senate. No, I want to elect my own senators, my friend.